Happy Friday. I hope everybody's alright. I'm super duper feeling these energies. I've got a lot of energy and fragmented thoughts going around. And so I just need to vomit out some. I've got some notes and I've just laughed as I've looked down at the notes because none of it makes sense. They're just strange headlines. But I don't know. I'm feeling good anyway. It's just like, ooh, everything feels super hyperdimensional at the minute. And I always feel like this time of year, I think it's like, I don't know, maybe it is. We're all just diving deep, into the depths. And I don't know about you guys, there's a lot coming up for me. And it's really interesting because it's viewing it from a slightly different level to last time I experienced these loops, So it's like, yeah, I'm more aware to watch myself, but I've really felt so much emotion over this last week. Like, I've had a couple of days of, like, real deep grief, and I don't even know. I kept feeling like it was, like, obviously it was within me, but it was just, like, a culmination. It was disparity that I felt like, just, like, how does the world go forwards? Not necessarily me, because I feel like, thank God, because of this awakening of, my spirit and my soul or whatever, and this integration, that I'm able to know that the state of mind creates the reality. Therefore, I am always safe and loved and can be peaceful no matter what is going on around me, I won't fancy, like, torture or anything like that, and I would definitely kill whoever tried, so... Oh, man. Yeah, but I felt so many emotions this last week, so I felt a couple of days of, like, real grief where every time the kids went to school, I was just crying and crying and crying. My eyes were fat and swollen, and I was really weak as well. Like, I've not wanted to eat, and, like, I just don't when I don't want to. It's like I feel like I'm, like, constantly fasting, and I do, actually. It's just at night time when I've had a few joints, then I'm into chocolate and crisps and all the fucking shit that's really, really bad for you. So, it sometimes probably does counteract, the fasting, but, just sort of intuitively, I don't really want to eat. I've got, like, a lot of energy, but anyway, I'd felt kind of, like, hollow after these couple of days of grief. Hollow inside, not the soul or anything, but the body felt like, ugh. And I was like, I need to ground, I need to meditate a little bit more, I need to eat. But it was like, sort of feeling like I wanted to dive deep and keep going into these, I guess like altered states of consciousness, where you're seeing synchronicities everywhere and everything is a beautiful play or a terrible horror show, depending on your state of mind. And so I've been really grateful to be able to witness this, as I'm going through the week. So, like, a couple of days of grief, and then like a couple of days of, like, really heightened sort of, like, I don't even know. I always say, like, hyperdimensional or multidimensional, but the words just don't do it justice, do they? It's just, looking across and just so many things are connected, and then seeing things in the sky, and God, the night sky is just beautiful. I feel it's so activating at the moment, and last night in particular, and it wasn't for long before the clouds came and fucking ruined it all, but the crescent moon was just beautiful. It was almost as yellow as this cup. It was, like, close. It was close and big. And just above it, you could see Saturn and then Jupiter. And then, look across to the west, you could see Mars glowing and all the constellations, man. It was beautiful. And, you see all sorts when you look up. And then, you start to feel the grief of, like, why isn't everybody looking up? Why are we all looking down? Why are we so addicted? Like, because I can say what I want about myself to make myself feel good or bad. About my, I feel like I'm just a fucking stuck record, but you know, the soul's evolution is the best way I can describe this journey of like becoming conscious of all that you are, and you know, just sort of yeah, whoosh, beautiful. But shit, too much. I don't know what I was going on about. Stars and yeah, that was it. But I am addicted to technology. I am. I don't have Facebook. I was going to say I don't have an Instagram, but actually I started one today. I've just put one picture on. And it's, you know, it's for the to try and sell some paintings, because I'm just constantly in this lack poverty wheel of doom, and I need to get myself off it, you know. So as I'm regaining my internal worth, I'm trying to sort of, you know, sort myself out. But anyway, what I'm doing is like I'm acknowledging that this technology, this new way of being, this AI machine is powerful. It's powerful, and we can use it, and we have to use it, you know, for good, for messages of truth and authenticity, and for the intention of helping, you know, if not ourselves, then everyone, you know. Oh, golly, especially with all this bullshit going on at the minute, it's like, how can we make a difference? Sometimes it feels like helpless, doesn't it? Like, how do we make a difference? But by speaking our truths, like, we help ourselves, and therefore we help everyone around us and the greater collective. Ovie, but it's so difficult, isn't it, when you're aware of these mind fucks that are going on. By the way, this says fearless or fearless, whichever way. Just as I'm slumping down, it says fear, and it's like I don't want to be projecting a fear message. Oh, man. So, yeah, what was I on about? God knows. It's addictive, yeah. We need to get good messages out, yeah. So anyway, yeah, a couple of days of grief, and then like today, beautiful emotions coming through me, and I think it was kicked off yesterday. I watched this video. Probably you guys might have seen it. I might actually put it down in the comments, and it was just a montage of people that look like real people and not robots. Oh, I saw a little orb then. Who were just saying, please stop masking our children, and it was all clipped together with a bit, you know, a bit of cheesy sad music or whatever underneath. But God, it was so powerful, and these just waves of emotion were just pouring over me, and I, you know, just the disparity, just like, why can't people see this? You know, why can't people see what is happening so quickly, and why can't we just please just stand up a little bit and be firm and say no and just be true, and that actually is just in the heart alone. It's just in the heart and how you're feeling in that moment. You don't have to be tearing down, you know, parliaments or any sort of illusionary external sort of saviour that you could be. It really is just this heart, you know, this strength, this will. And my God, yeah, just these waves of just emotion and just gratitude for the strength of humanity that I know is coming together. And personally, I don't think it's any good sort of playing into the good versus evil narrative either, although it seems really difficult not to in such strange times, you know. Oh, man, you know, because, again, it's a state of mind and it's a perception that we project onto ourselves and others. But, you know, it kind of does feel like that, but I like to think of it more of this way, recently anyway, just for my own goddamn sanity and for my own faith in humanity, you know, is to think of it like this, that most people, God, I hope so, I feel like this, most people are good people, want to be good people, have a soul, want to do what's right. And in times like these, and I'm sure this has happened in past times and past, you know, wars and takeovers or end of civilizations or, you know, whatever, that they don't actually know the role that they're playing in this. And so very quickly, you know, things change, and then we've just got this horrendous, these control energies that are just completely oppressing them, you know, these people who are not quite conscious enough to understand. And I feel like it's more like, and I got this saying from somebody who I listened to. She describes, you know, like the zombies or the NPCs, or, you know, the sort of empty vessels, as hollow people. And I really like that, because that's kind of what it is. When you can view somebody as a hollow person, for me, it's like, it's almost like it is what it is. It's sort of no threat. It's like, it's just sort of ignorance, you know, and just sort of like a different reality set on a different level of consciousness that these people are, you know, sort of running the world with, this background sort of brrr, you know, the hum of it's like a hive, isn't it? The buzz. And they don't even know they're doing it, you know. It's like, it's subconscious, just sort of materialism or separation it comes down to, doesn't it? And so the addiction to these technologies, it doesn't help. It's like, it feels like the only way to use these for a benefit is if we are creating with them. We're giving ourselves, we're putting the good into the AI, basically. You know, we're sort of matching the potential harm with potential good. So, you know, one day the goodness overrides. I feel like that might be. Fuck knows, God. Anyway, but yeah, so it's almost, you know, that there are dark things and agendas and people. There are. We can't deny that. We have to face that. You know, we have been deceived. Like, humanity has always probably been deceived. It feels like that seems quite logical to me, if you think about how obvious it is now how baseline reality is run by the media. And then, you know, you rewind in time when we didn't have this instant interconnectivity of media and news and stories or propaganda or narratives. And that was truth. That was fact, because the avenues of information were limited. And then you go even further back and books were banned and blah, blah, blah. So, so humans have always been deceived, and by, you know, few in power or in control, in the lust for power. And God, yeah, I've been reading my kids Harry Potter for bedtime. They're only 4 and 6, but there's great lessons in there, isn't there? And I just love Dumbledore. Dumbledore's like, he's like Hogwarts' resident Alan Watts. He's amazing. And I read the Harry Potter books when I was a kid, and I fucking loved him. Really resonated with all of it. And reading them now as an adult, they're even more wonderful, I feel, you know. Just marvellous. They're fucking marvellous. And you know, when you're just reading some, and this is so funny because it's children's books, isn't it? And, you know, I'm not saying the woman's a genius, but she was, you know, she was definitely using the sky for inspiration. So funny. I know that now from looking at Stellarium and, you know, seeing the myths and the stories and the names of the stars, and yeah, and everything makes sense. Anyway, and last week I was up to a bit where, in the book anyway, where unicorns were dying, and they were using the blood, Voldemort was using the blood of the unicorn to try and bring himself back to life. And anyway, there were some centaurs in the woods, and I've just always resonated with centaurs as well. And Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? These strange little resonances that we have. And I remember during my awakening, right at the start of it, the height of it, I was doing all these abstract, sort of automatic fast paintings and writings and doodles. And they would always have these arrows on it. And now, I'm doing all the astro art and I'm looking into astrology and I'm like, it's the Sagittarius arrow, it's the bow. And that's, where my sun sign is in the Vedic sidereal zodiac, and I have a few other placements there as well. And yeah, and anyway, and so Harry and I think it's Hagrid. He wants some information off these centaurs, and they're just staring up into the sky. And he says something about how they're quite wise, but you can't get a straight answer out of them. They're away with the clouds. They're just the heads in the stars. And I was laughing because that's what I'm like, and that's what Mark says. It's like he'll be, we'll go outside and have a fag at night and stuff, and we're chatting, but I'm always staring up at this sky, whether it's day or night. My head's up there, and I have to remember to look, come down to earth sometimes. So I really resonated with that. And to further the tingles, when I was reading this bit, when they were asking him, do you know what's going on down here? They kept repeating the same thing over and over again. And they just kept saying, oh, Hagrid says to these centaurs, have you noticed anything unusual in the forest? And they go, Mars is very bright tonight. And they say it like 3 times or something. And Mars is so, so bright in the sky recently. And the night that I was reading it to the kids, I'd taken them out in the, before I went to bed, and I'm like, quick, look, there's Jupiter, Saturn, there's Mars, and look how bright it is, and, it's really close to Earth, and, yeah, and and what does that mean? And what does that mean in these old myths and stuff? I want to know. It's like, Mars is it's the warrior planet. Does it mean war is coming? They were sort of signifying that the darkness was coming, because Voldemort was like drinking the blood of unicorns and shit, which are sacred animals. Don't fuck with unicorns. Yeah, and it was just making me shiver. I was like, oh, maybe I'm from Sagittarius, and maybe I'm a centaur in a past life or something. I don't fucking know. But anyway, and then I watched this speech this morning from a film Mark showed it me called We Are Marshall, and this speech that Matthew McConaughey does at the end. And it was just, it brought me to tears. And I'm just like, this is the spirit that we need. It's like, it's the hearts. We need influential leaders, to drum up these hollow people and to give them faith, when their faith has been diminished in these fucking dark times where, like, everything is against the human spirit and soul, and it's just oppression and degradation and just constant, like, just this clamp down. And it's like, I just love the rise up, the spirit in people, the heart in people. It's fucking brilliant. I'm going to put that speech down below. Why not? But yeah, and I was like, you need leaders like that, don't you? You don't need like fucking Trump or Biden or Kamala Harris or fucking Boris Johnson or any of these clowns, like any of these puppet heads. Like, they all need to just like be removed from this realm somehow, like non-painfully, just sent back to where they came from. And then, sort of like, maybe we were laughing, saying maybe team leaders, if the hollow people need someone to lead them, I think most people can be all right on our own. Like, we could just be all right to live on our own without anybody telling us what to do. But team leaders, maybe, for the hollow people, 1 man, 1 woman, per district, per area each, the best of the best, the best of the best. And we pay them well because they do a good job for humanity, because they don't want the power. And that was another beaut that came out from Dumbledore when I finished the story last night. And Harry Potter, he's the one that finds the philosopher's stone, you know, the stone that's the elixir of life and gives immortality. And the only reason he can find it is Dumbledore's put this spell on. That meant that the only person who could find it is somebody that just wanted to find the stone and not use the stone. You know, somebody who wasn't seeking the power. And he goes on to say how, I think this was in another book or something, because I was checking out Dumbledore quotes after last night. I was like, this fucking JK Rowling's a genius. But anyway, he was saying how, like, the only people who are ever going to be worthy of a seat of power is somebody who doesn't seek to control with power. They don't seek that power. And I just thought that was beautiful, you know. It's like, yeah, like, imagine just sort of like, just some pure soul, you know, just being like, you know, someone who knew the shit as well, but like some pure soul that we could all sort of choose and be like, you have the power, you fucking have it, and you distribute it nice and evenly, and don't, you know, we eradicate power, the illusion of power and control, and we address these as individual fucking energetic, emotional issues within ourselves. And yeah, I don't know. But what happened last night is before I went to bed, I started watching a fucking Biden chatting speech thing, and I was just looking for him to glitch out, to be honest. But it was disturbing, man. I only watched about 10 minutes. I was like, oh, get this off. Like, if this is, you know, a completely sort of holographic multiverse simulation, co-creation or whatever, this clown show shit is just only there to make you fear, only there to make you fear. Like, he got all the words in. I heard FEMA, National Guard, governors. He mentioned all these, you know, tyrannical governors as well, all these, you know, and vaccinations and jabbing everyone in the arm and stuff. And I was like, oh, God, get this off. Like, get this off. And yeah, just the world's crazy. Not just over there, all the shit over here is just, you know, if you look into it, it's either going to send you mad or make you want to vomit. But we need to rise up with the hearts and the soul and the spirit. And how we do that is by addressing our own shit. And if it's a collective thing, you should be feeling your own shit now, because I'm feeling mine. And the more I go inside and the more I endeavour to know myself, the more I see my own shit super clearly. Super clearly. Things I need to let go of. Things I need to work on, you know. It's just really interesting. Yeah, and I watched it. I'll put this video down as well, actually, if I remember. Russell Brand was talking to this lady the other day who was talking about this type of therapy. I don't even know what it was. But they were talking about, you know, the perception of schizophrenia, or some of these other ones as well, you know, these are the disorders on the spectrum. And it all of it bothers me, because I feel, I feel I've personally experienced symptoms or behaviours exhibited by any one of these diagnoses, but I've noticed that it's been a transient state, you know, and I can get back to an equilibrium where, you know, if you were to interview me on that day, you know, I'd pass all the questions for whatever, you know. I've never had personally, I've always felt pretty strong, you know. I've experienced a lot of darkness and despair, but I masked it with booze for so long. And then, you know, I've not had I've been sober, I guess, for like, God knows, how long is it, like 4 years or something? You know, I've had the odd drink, and actually it makes me excited. Now I think, yeah, I'd like a drink, as long as that was it. And I'm sure it would be, because I'd feel shit after, but you know, every person have got the vices and shit, haven't they? But anyway, this video. So she was talking about the idea of like all these different yous that have not been acknowledged, you know, and this is the pain, this is the fracturing of the self. And I don't know if she said any of this, I'm just going to use my own words now, my own interpretations, but this is kind of like how it feels to me, again relating to Harry Potter and the Horcruxes, you know, it's sort of like, it's the soul always felt like it was like fractured, or the heart, you know, broken or fractured. But it's the self, that's what it is, it's the self, the heart and the soul is the self. And that happens through pain and trauma throughout our lives, and, you know, these unacknowledged bits, you know, little me who, you know, whose parents used to argue, little me who got ignored, little me who on this Christmas day this happened, or little, you know, or me at this blah, blah, blah. And if we don't acknowledge those selves, and we continue to think, you know, that we have a leader that is, you know, just one sort of self, we'll never, you know, integrate. It's to feel it, to feel the pain, to acknowledge the pain, to love the pain, because you were never wrong, whichever part of you, in whatever state, whether it was your addicted to alcohol state, you know, I've been a rageful bitch for a long time before my awakening, just energetically and verbally rageful, you know, just so much of, you know, unbalanced stuff within me. You know, I could put myself down forever, but the journey is to betterment, isn't it? But it's the empaths that can do this, because we can feel the pain, because we know the pain, we've felt the pain. And it's never left us. Those parts of us have never left us, you know. And we're now just gathering these last parts up of ourselves, you know, so we can be it all again. And personally, I don't think any of these mental health labels help anything. I think labels and language have muddied the waters and continue to do so. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But I feel like there's a rising up, and it's an empath rising up. And yeah, seekers, like in Harry Potter, fucking truth seekers. We want the truth, and we want to help everybody, and we want a better world, you know, and we'll get it one day. It's just like, this is sludge-tastic, innit, guys? Fuck. Yeah. Right. I'm going to put those links down if I remember, and I'm going to put a link to my Instagram channel, which has just got one picture up, because I'm going to try and promote it or tag it, or, you know, put because I've done loads, and I am proud of them, and so I'd like to put them up and try and do whatever you're supposed to do to try and get some sales, or, you know, to try and make some money in the world, whatever. Right. My energy is so heightened. I feel like I'm plugged into a battery. I'm like shaking, and I've had 432 anxiety reducing music pumping through, and it's not touched the sides. Happy Friday. Bye.